Cool, cool, cool. Hey, how you guys doing today? Good. Social Media Week, Lima 21. Can you believe it? 21. Good Lord, it took us a long time to get here, didn't it? Didn't last year feel like 10 years? So we're up here, we're gonna be talking about pivoting. I got two amazing business owners to my left. The beautiful, sparkly
Leave it there.
Sarah Kelsey.
Yeah.
and
the
Jenna
underdressed.
Oh.
But unfiltered. That's authentic
unfiltered
for you. Very
Jenna
raw.
Stearns. So, like I said, I'm George Demanis, and this panel is going to be on pivoting. And I want to leave you guys with three things. Pivoting is okay. It's okay, it's relevant. Chances are you're already pivoting if you haven't realized that. And sometimes pivoting isn't easy and it doesn't come quickly. We're going to tell you a couple stories, our stories, and how we've pivoted and how we've utilized social media to help facilitate our respective pivots. So, first of all, I know we're getting there. It's lunchtime. We're all starting to maybe smell that delivery coming through or something. I want some audience participation right now. Show of hands. If you have a college degree, associates, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, raise, put your hand in the air right now. Right now, there you go. Awesome. Keep your hand raised if you are working in your field of study.
Way out.
Hey, guess what? We all pivoted. Guess what? I have a master's degree in criminal justice. Yeah, that's doing me really well right now, right? So here, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a 15-year veteran of the Coast Guard. I did not go 20 years because, good God, driving boats through hell and back hurts my back. And a few other things here and there that got hurt as well. So I made it 15 years, did not get my retirement, but I'm considered a disabled veteran. I was going to be a FBI special agent, believe it or not. I was in my applicant process. I had just completed my phase 2 interview. For those of you who know, that's like the big one. If you've made it to the phase 2 interview and you could pass a polygraph, there's a good chance that you're gonna be going to Quantico in a couple years. I was waiting for my polygraph exam when I received an email stating that due to the governmental shutdown in 2012, my application was put on hold indefinitely. I am not ashamed to say that I cried in the shower that day. That was my lifelong goal. That was my lifelong dream. I've dreamt about being an FBI special agent since I was a kid. I wanted to hunt the craziest, sickest people, murderers. That was what I wanted to do. Obviously, I'm not doing that. My master's degree in criminal justice is not doing very well. So what did I do? I was a great writer. I got into reporting. I reported on the stock market for 8 years. I grew their social presence. I got into social media that way. Started my own company. My company started not doing very well. I had a few local clients. Guess what? Have you guys seen me running around with the camera taking photos of I'm not ashamed to say that I am a talented photographer. And I was pivoting once more. I coined the term event speaker concierge photographer. Guess what happened the last year? No events, no speakers to photograph. So what am I doing now? I am an account manager at the wonderful company, Now Marketing Group.
Yes.
We put on this event. My pivot is not in my hands. I have a boss. I have an amazing boss. Jessica is good God. Like, I've never worked for a sweeter, more genuine, sincere person. And now I get to be on stage and telling you about how awesome she is. So she gave me this shot, so I love you. You're awesome. So that's my pivot. My pivot's not in my hands. It takes a long time to pivot sometimes. I was in the Coast Guard. My brain thinks nautically. I want you to imagine a ship, a cargo ship. A cargo ship going full steam. Man, I had a full steam underneath me about photography. I was going to be the event speaker, concierge photographer. I have to pivot. It takes a lot for a giant, 300-meter cargo ship to turn full steam. It puts stress on the chines, on the hull. It is stressful on the vessel, and it takes a long time. So that's what we're here to talk about. So, ladies, which one would you like to? Jenna,
I want to hear Jenna.
Go first.
Jenna's got a better story on this than I do.
Tell us about your pivot.
Okay, so pre-COVID, let's back up a little bit. Sarah's instructing me to stand up. Yes, Mom.
This is
So now I'm
important.
standing. Okay, fall of 2019. Yes, I did have a photography business. I also have a degree in criminal justice. Very odd. I wasn't working in the criminal justice field anymore, and I was an insurance agent, and I actually came here in 2019 for insurance in my photography business and got all the knowledge that you guys are all getting this week too. And the fall of 2019, my husband and I decided to buy a historical home, and we were going to make it an Airbnb. It was the best plan ever. My best friend was on board with us. She's like, yeah, you can kill it. You can market it, you can do it. It was next to a large wedding venue, so we were gonna bring in all the brides, all the grooms, everybody was gonna get ready here. It's a historical home. We're ready to go all in. If I make a decision, I'm gonna go all in. So we started working on the home. We were in the process of buying it. I'll get to that in a minute. We gutted the upstairs. We opened up a staircase that had been closed for over 30 years. We exposed a log home. We put every ounce of energy that we had into that home. So we just had to figure out the electrical work to close the loan, and we were on our way. But, like Angus said yesterday, resistance is real. This honestly might make me tear up.
It's okay.
Because of that resistance is why I had to pivot. So the owner of the home decided that she had another idea. She didn't want to pull through with her end of the deal, and if this is being recorded, it's raw, it's real. She didn't want to pull through with the contract work that she had to do for the electrical, and she decided that that's not what we're going to do anymore, so my husband and I were forced to back out of the deal. Because we were in the middle of remodeling, we pulled all of our tools, told my best friend, close your shop, I don't care what you're doing today, get your truck over here, we got to get out. And she did. The owner did try to sue us, my husband and I both. She tried to have me arrested. The cops came and said I was trespassing, but I had a note that I'm buying the home. So we packed up everything and we got out. You want to hear the bomb? I'm gonna drop the bomb. That owner was my grandma.
Oh.
True story. I shit you not. Am I allowed to say that? We're unfiltered, right?
Hey, unfiltered.
Let's go.
You're good.
So at that point, I had to pivot. I was just ready to put everything into this. This was a grand idea. This was gonna be awesome. So I pivoted, went back to my insurance job, and then COVID hit, and I had to also pivot again. My insurance job was fine. I could have continued, but with our kids in school and now they're at home, I didn't know what we were going to do for them each day, so I chose to stay at home. We started sewing masks, and we were cutting them one by hand. We made about 1,000, so I taught my daughter how to sew, and we would just sew for hours. We used social media to market those masks to anybody in the community. If they needed any donated, we were donating them, but we were also selling them. So we made about 1,000, and then I started to realize, holy crap, this thing is not going away. We need to make these faster. So I researched into machines, and again, my best friend was in on the decision. I told her and my husband, I said, what if I buy a laser? They were both like, yes, that sounds amazing. What do you want to do with it? So I told them, I said, I think I could cut the fabric, number one, but after that, we'll just figure it out after that. So I started cutting about 1 inch thick of fabric each time, and we would make 50 masks at a time. So then I would get a stockpile, then we could all sew at the same time. So through COVID, we made over 5,000 masks. We donated some, we sold a lot. We bought our lasers through selling the mask. 2019, when I was sitting in your seat, I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do up on that stage, but I'm gonna be up on that stage. I'm gonna tell my story because it's raw, it hurt hard. But I had the tools that I learned from this conference to be able to pivot and to do what I want to do. And here, not only am I telling you my story, but I'm also a sponsor of the event and a gold sponsor at that. Because of Beyond Laser Creations, we have been able to use those machines, pivot, and do what we know how to do, but with the resistance, we were able to grow.
It's an amazing story. It's an amazing story.
I don't want to follow that.
Yeah, did your grandma sue you?
Sure didn't.
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
She was mad that the papers weren't delivered on Christmas, too.
Oy.
She's evil. It's good.
She's evil.
This resistance, it made me strong. It made me grow, so nothing can affect me.
How about yourself?
I don't have a story like that.
Can you follow that?
Wow,
Like,
I know. No, this would be like
That's it,
following
folks.
Angus yesterday. That's, okay, we're done.
Damien, wrap it up.
Okay, so I don't know who all is familiar with my story. It's definitely not that emotional. And like Mark said this morning, this isn't a contest.
Yeah.
Like, and I get that, and I'm grateful for it because I think we all have trauma, and trauma causes a lot of us to pivot. But I think having to pay your mortgage, like basic life things, cause you to pivot. I mentioned yesterday I have a degree in Chinese. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm not Asian. So when I walk into a meeting with a bunch of suits, unless somebody point blank asked me, are you an interpreter, which they never did, I looked like somebody's assistant, right? So I had this big, great life, corporate life, living the dream, translating all of this. And I had a practice marriage that went down in flames. And it was educational. That went down in flames in April of 2014. And I have always been in the horse world, and I would, like these jackets that the girls show in, like this, they're expensive, like thousands of dollars expensive. And I was always like helping the 4-H kids, giving them riding lessons, and their parents would bring me shirts from Tractor Supply and all of that. And we would just, my mom and I would add crystals to them, and it would grow and it would grow. So marriage goes down in flames. I end up at 29 years old living at my mom's house, which is so cool. When you're supposed to be adulting. And I was in the tool and die industry, and there's a huge horse show called the Quarter Horse Congress, and I pawned my wedding ring to pay my entry fees at the Congress in 2014. And while I was there, I made a pair of earrings just messing around, right? And I had kind of toyed with, the name of my company is called Rhinestone Lip Gloss. It sounds like a Tuesday night stripper. It's not. But it's catchy, right? And now you'll never forget it because I just said that. So that's what I go to. I know, and you're laughing because you know it's true. So this like little boutique, all RL was supposed to be was just like a little side hustle boutique, right? All I was supposed to do is pay my entry fees at rodeos and horse shows so I could adult and make my parents proud, use my degree, and it started to grow. I made a pair of earrings at that horse show in 2014, and I have never been a queen, never been like a pageant queen or like maybe a little bit of a drama queen, but I didn't realize how heavy earrings were not a good time. So made these big earrings, and they were from Walmart, right? And if you take earrings from Walmart and you glue crystals on them, it looks like you took earrings from Walmart and glue crystals on them. And I still have that very first pair, and they're hanging in my studio. So I'm running my barrel horse, and these girls are like, how are you in these big earrings? I said, well, they're light. And they said, can I buy them off of you? And I said, no, but I'll make you a pair. That was October of 2014. By February of 2015, 6 months later, my now husband looks at me, husband number 2, looks at me and says, I think you can make a living out of this. I'm like, you, sir, are on drugs because I can't leave a 401k and benefits to have arts and crafts time. Like my mom's gonna be really mad. Like when I'm like, hey, I have this huge degree and it's real cool, but I think I want to bedazzle. That's a hard no from Cindy Piles. So he looked at me, he's like, no, I think that you can. So I had $85 saved up from a rodeo that I had won, and I bought my vendor's license and my first package of wholesale Swarovski crystals. Remember you fell off skiing and you broke your legs, Swarovski? So yesterday, I had to be there. Started a Facebook and an Instagram page and just I would make one pair of earrings and I would put them on the Facebook, and 2 or 3 ladies would say, hey, I want those, and I would take that money, right? Well, next thing you know, this thing starts to grow, and I have no accounting, marketing, business, education, zero, none, right? So by that time I was 30, I pivoted from the corporate world, what you're supposed to do, to this kind of crazy idea, and in, 2014, was that 6 years? 7 years, we went from my kitchen table to work in 19 countries all over the world. I too bought a historic, well, it's not a home, but a historic building in downtown Wapakoneta. It's 12,000 square feet. We have 2 Airbnbs. Our clients fly in from all over the country to design their wedding and pageant jewelry. And then we pivoted again in April of this year because of my lack of knowledge of cost of goods and labor and all the business things you learn in business school. Our profit margins weren't what they need to be to sustain our growth. And I knew, because every crystal that we set is set by hand in my studio in Wapakoneta by local ladies, right? So this isn't something that gets shipped off to Malaysia and we buy back for pennies on the dollar. Like, this is made by hand stuff. What I realized was that I could no longer sustain my team and give them what they deserved, like pay-wise, if that makes sense. So I thought, what the heck can I do? I can't make more earrings because that's a vicious cycle of money. So being in the horse world, there's a brand new $600 million facility that was just built in Ocala, Florida, called the World Equestrian Center. I was down there a couple different times this year just doing some market research, and I thought, you know what? This is where we need to be. So I went from the corporate dream, pivoted, started my own business, which was a terrifying idea, but it seems to be working out. Last August, I bought the 12,000 square foot building, which my team was kind of like, oh, hey, what are we doing? So pivot number 2. Pivot number 3 is high tides raise all ships, right? We needed the income, and had I forced my company to be what I wanted it to be, I would still have a corporate job. It still would have been this little side hustle. But because number 1, I'm allergic to failure, like we talked yesterday, pivot is necessary. And sometimes it's wanted, and sometimes it's not. Ocala was wanted. I wanted to grow that. So we signed a 5-year lease at the World Equestrian Center to have a boutique called Kelsey's, which will not only carry Rhinestone lip gloss and a few other lines, we'll carry Michelle's line, some of Jenna's creations and all of that. But you have to go where your demographic is. And forcing to pivot, being able to pay my team what they're worth, caused us to open a retail storefront 16 hours away. So not only am I in uncharted territory because I've never owned a boutique or run one, it's a long way away. I have to ghost management. I have to trust somebody hours and hours and hours away to not run my child into the ground. But at the end of the day, what do? We do what it takes to pay the mortgage, right? And it's photography. It's coming here and working for Jessica. It's buying a laser on a whim and now being like the laser master. So
the laser master.
It's the laser master. That's your new. There's your handle. Yes,
I'll take that.
But that being said, pivot isn't always bad, and you're going to have to eventually, regardless of. It's just a matter of time, I think, but it's not something to be afraid of or pushed away.
Also, Sarah, like when you say the uncharted territory of moving into a storefront outside of your area and 16 hours away, we also are experiencing the same thing because this started out of my kitchen. We were sewing masks out of the kitchen. I was running the laser in my house, which is a terrible idea. It smells horrible still. I still notice it. But then we moved to the garage. Well, then we clearly have outgrown the garage, so we entered a business competition in our city. They hosted, I think 12 businesses applied, and they kind of set it up similar to Shark Tank. And through different application processes and different rounds, we were able to present to our city why we feel that our business is an asset and why they need to bring us into town. And Jessica also helped donate to my votes. Thank you, Jessica and the Now team. But we were able to bring home the win. So we won a huge prize package of about $18,000, and in that is a 1-year lease free for our rent. So we are in the process of moving into a storefront. So there we're going to hold paint parties and classes and workshops, and all of my machines will be up there for the customer to jump into the experience too.
So, I mean, this is a social, yeah. Before we move on, let's give that what that deserves. Absolutely. So this is a social media conference, so let's sort of like tie this in. For both of you are in I don't want to say e-commerce, but you're in a seller's commerce atmosphere. Is e-commerce okay? So obviously there is an interconnection between social media and e-commerce. How have you been able to leverage social media to help facilitate the pivoting that you guys have been going through over the past year and however long your crisis began?
Crisis, yeah, that's
Crises.
real. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think eyeballs equal dollars. And I think the more eyeballs you can get in front of, it's kind of like the whole sales thing, the more no's, every no is closer to a yes. We didn't have any money. I had $85. And as of right now, Mom, you're going to have to wait. As of right now, we still have no loans and we still have no debt. And that is only because of social media. Like, we've never spent any money in ads because we never had it. Like, we don't have an advertising budget. There isn't one, right? It is all organic. All of our work is organic. And I am by no means saying Facebook ads are bad. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, it's not part of our path at the moment. But what I can tell you is, had it not been for Facebook and Instagram, there is no way that I would have, because we don't sell earrings, we sell earlobes that don't hurt, and we sell tangible proof that you can make a living doing anything you want. There is a dude on a yacht because he invented the pool noodle. It's tire foam. Like, but you're selling an emotion. People don't buy things, they buy what you do and why you do it, right? So, but had it not been for social media, nobody would know that story. And there would be no way for every single one of my clients. My job is to create clients who create more clients, right? I think that's all of our jobs, is to create clients. But if they don't have a platform to shout your praises from the rooftop, we don't have businesses. And so for me, it's Facebook and Instagram. Those are my two main platforms. I know Damien said Facebook's not cool, but whatever.
I also use Facebook, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're cool. We've decided.
Damien's not cool.
Damien's not cool. So that's terrible. He's so cool. So that is me. I mean, social media is my lifeblood. Every day I make 6 pieces of content, 3 Facebooks, 3 Instagram, all 6 different, and that's what keeps our mortgage paid. And I think it's similar.
We also use Facebook to market our products and to get the word out of where we're going to be for farmers markets and down here and things like that. But it really started for us because we were bored at home, and we all, like in my household, we were going 60 miles an hour every day. There was no stopping for any kind of leisure time or anything. And when everything shut down, we started doing ridiculous TikToks. And we would get the whole family involved. My husband was on a hoverboard, beating pots and pans. It was ridiculous. Yeah, go check them out. So then once we started sewing, I put all that on TikTok, and then I would repost it on Instagram and Facebook, and people were checking in and like, hey, this is a really difficult time, but you are freaking hilarious, and I just wanted to make sure that you're okay and we're okay and you're helping us through this crisis, and just to be unfiltered. And I really do have a bad potty mouth, and I am very unfiltered. I'm very raw, I'm very real, I'm very blunt, very honest. Don't ask if you don't want to know. I think my new friend Julie and I discovered that we had that don't ask if you don't want to know kind of thing in common with the DNA thing. We figured that out last night. But anyways, just be real on social media. And if they meet you in real life and you're not the person that you are on Facebook or Instagram or social media anywhere, then they're going to get your bluff called. But just being real and being me really is what helped my business.
Absolutely. For me, it was a little bit different because I'm not selling anything. I always offered service. For me, like the connecting aspect of my entire life and professional career has been creativity. I'm a creative person. I love to create art, photography. I love to write. So social media management has sort of been an organic route for me to follow. And Jessica has told me before that one of the reasons she hires specifically on culture, and we're like everybody in our team, from our account managers to our incredibly talented videographer John to all of our web heads who create these most incredible websites, to Joanna, our ads person. We're all like the same person, but we're also like different aspects of each other. So we all mesh really well. And one of the ways, and Jessica told me like one of the things that attracted me to her team was or to bring me onto her team, was that I'm her kind of people. And she got to learn who I am through social media. I met Jessica at social media at another conference a few years back. And the fact that she friend requested me on Facebook after seeing something that I did for one of her friends. And like, that's the power of social media. It's if you're genuine, if you're who you are and not this like persona, then that's what resonates with people. That's how you're going to get, I don't want to say get the sale, that's how you're going to get, your content viewed. That's how you're going to get your message through, by being yourself. And that's sort of like my photography. I did minimal marketing. I'm a marketer. I did minimal marketing. And at the last conference that I went to in February of 2020, I turned down Kim Garst. Do you guys know who Kim Garst is? It's Kim frickin' Garst, and Kim Garst comes up to me and says, George, I want you to photograph me. I'm like, oh my God, Kim Garst, I'm sorry. I'm full. There's no way I could fit you in. And that's all from word of mouth, and that's all from me being genuine on social media. So is there anything else that you guys want to say to wrap things up?
If people like you, they're going to buy from you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've found that out. I mean, just being real on TikTok and Facebook and everything. And in the fall of 2020, I hosted a paint party at my house. And, I was just kind of getting the idea out there of like, hey, you can do this kit, you can come over, we can drink, we can have fun. Well, then like right in our area, my county went to red and we had to cancel because of COVID. And, I offered everybody's money back and I offered to do virtual, whatever you want to do. And they were like, no, we just wanted to come hang out with you. I'm like, well, shit, if I get paid just to hang out with me, I mean, you can just leave the paint party or the paint kit aside, but if they like you, they're going to buy from you. And if they're interested in your culture, and if you resonate with them, they're going to be attracted to you anyways.
I got one more quick question for the two of you. Which platform has made the biggest impact in your pivot?
I'm going to be old. Facebook. I guess just because it's familiar.
Yeah, Facebook. We get lots of eyeballs on Instagram, but transactions on Facebook, and transactions are dollars.
I also sell on Etsy, which I don't sell physical products there. I sell digital products. So Etsy, yes, my conversion rate on there is good, but it's not the eyes as Pinterest and Facebook and things. Because my product is a physical product that they want to see, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just to sort of bring it full circle here, just understand, if your pivoting is taking time, it's okay. I'm not in control of my pivot. I've placed my trust in Jessica, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. It's been a really great experience at Now Marketing, and I'm happy to be here. Sometimes it's not under your control. Sometimes it takes a long time. It's okay. If you're pivoting is normal. We do it all the time. Sometimes we just don't call it pivoting. In the military, Colonel Jim Fuse back there, he knows, we call it adaptability and flexibility. The ability to adapt and overcome. Hoorah. So keep that in mind. If you guys are in the process of pivoting, if you feel that you might have to pivot, it's okay. Be at ease with yourself for pivoting. It's a normal part of business.
If we hadn't pivoted, we'd be dead in the water. I wouldn't be here.
I'd still be selling insurance, gouging my eyeballs out.
I'm still pivoting.
Yeah. So
sorry if my boss
embrace the
heard that.
pivot.